Alright, so I don't know what my deal is with wanting to do two vlogs in one day anymore, but apparently that's just going to be my tone for the time being. So I'm switching it up and talking about video games right now, and I wanted to touch a little bit on the Nintendo Switch, which for whatever reason in my mind is called the Nintendo Smooth. I don't know why. My brain is just hell bent on calling it the Nintendo Smooth. I don't know. Actually, I think that sounds a little bit like nicer than Switch, because I get the premise. Like, you can play on like the TV, then you can like take it on the go, and it turns into like a big ass DSXL or whatever, and like you can play it, I guess, on like a basketball court. I don't know. I watched some of that like introduction, and I feel kind of guilty because like I don't care about it. Like I probably should. Like one of the articles I have read, and I know I'm real late to this party, but I don't know. I didn't have an opinion on it, and like the more I thought about it, I was like, I probably should talk about it in the interest of fair play, because I'm always bitching about Microsoft and their doodads. I'm always talking about Sony PlayStation because that's primarily what I use, and I never talk about Nintendo. I don't even watch their press conferences when E3 and them come around. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Whatever I hear, it's just going to be, oh, Donkey Kong or Mario. Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and that's what they're going to be talking. So, like, I kind of let Nintendo go by the wayside a bit, and that's actually not fair. I should cover them as much as I cover the other folks, but I don't, because I don't care, and I feel bad saying that I don't care, but I'm not a 12-year-old with an agenda, so I don't play Nintendo anymore. I have a Wii, and that's about as far as it went, but will I be, like, clamoring for a Nintendo? I'm just going to call it Nintendo Smooth. But am I going to be clamoring for a Nintendo Smooth? Probably not. Even though it looks like, because one of the articles I read, they were like, the commercial or trailer or debut thing for it, it looked like they didn't have any kids in it. They didn't debut anything with kids. It wasn't kids on the basketball court. It wasn't kids on an airplane. It was just adults playing stuff at a party, playing video games. I think that one clip with that girl, they were like, come on. And the girl's like, okay, hang on. And she brings her Nintendo, and then all of a sudden they're like, yay, she won the Nintendo. We don't give a shit about who the fuck this bitch is. We just want to play your Nintendo Smooth. So, I thought that was kind of fucked up, but maybe I just read too much into that, but whatever. I don't know, but like, as a whole, I get what they're trying to do, but it didn't, like, I didn't feel the need to be like, oh shit, I need to go get me a Nintendo Smooth, like, tonight. I need to put the pre-order in now, because, like, yeah, like, it's supposed to be offering more adult-oriented games. I don't know. Honestly, I think Nintendo, as horrible as this is going to sound, I kind of think they should stay in their lane with the little kid situation, because if not for anything, if I know a couple of people who are parents of children, and they don't want them playing stuff like PlayStation or Xbox because they have really violent, really graphic, really heavy-handed on the swearing kind of games. And if you don't want your kids playing something like that, you don't really have an alternative except to go to Nintendo. So I think this might alienate a lot of parents, but I guess Nintendo feels like they've kind of tapped the little kid market out, and that's why they came out with the Nintendo. I know it's the Switch. It's just my brain refuses to say Switch and wants to say Smooth. But I'll just call it the Nintendo Smooth. So I know they think they probably tapped out their youth market, but there's always people having kids, and those kids are going to get older, and if you don't want your kids playing like Gears of War or Resident Evil or something where there's going to be a lot of blood and cursing, then where are you going to go to? So I don't know. I'm not probably going to get it. I'm not really interested in it. Nobody in my home has expressed interest in Nintendo's move. So we'll just see what it's talking. It's supposed to have a lot of third-party support from folks. I don't know. But we'll have to see what it is. Like, I'll keep an eye on it, but I don't know. I feel guilty I don't cover it because I grew up playing Nintendo. I grew up playing Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And then that was just my childhood and adolescence. But man, when PlayStation came along, they just had me hook, line, and sinker. And I just have not looked back. So I feel guilty, but I kind of don't feel guilty. So, quickly, some other stuff going around. There's this guy I watch on YouTube. I enjoy his videos immensely. In fact, I enjoy his videos so much that I know he probably didn't like The Evil Within, and I was going to watch his review on it, and I couldn't bring myself to do it, because I was like, I don't want to not like him. But, because I stopped liking a reviewer based on their review of The Evil Within, and I'll touch on The Evil Within in a second. But yeah, so I watched him. He played some game. The hell was it called? It's Hello Neighbor. And every time I think of that, I get this image. That title just gives me an image of Mr. Rogers singing "It's such a good feeling to know you're alive." And I know there's the ending song he used to sing, but like, I don't know. Hello Neighbor just gives me this image of Mr. Rogers. It's weird. But he played this game called Hello Neighbor, and it's about you're like some guy living across the street from some weirdo dude who's doing all this weirdness in his house, and like he has some shit going on in his basement, and you break into his house to try to figure out what the fuck is going on in their basement, and he like chases you. He throws bear tracks at you. The one thing about the guy I was watching play, he kept throwing bear tracks in his front yard, and the guy I watched play was just so mortified by this. And every time I watched him play that, I just am on the floor in tears, dying. So I don't know. But the thing about Hello Neighbor, for as funny as watching him play it was, the first time I watched it, it left me really uneasy. Cause like, dude, like, got up and looked out the door and, like, would chase you across the street. And then the music, when he's chasing you, is real, real horrifying. And it was a game that watching it made me feel uneasy. It was just like, I hadn't been that nervous watching a game in a long time. So, and I know the guy that I watch play, I'm not going to name drop, but the guy I watch play, he actually had a point where he screamed, and that dude don't never scream at nothing. So I know if he was screaming, then it's really intense. So I will keep my eye out on Hello Neighbor. If you are into horror games, it's kind of like a reverse breaking somebody, like somebody's not breaking into your house, you're breaking into somebody else's house, which is real illegal. And you gotta like see what he's doing and stuff and not get caught. But I'll keep an eye on it because I don't know, it just seemed kind of creepy. I don't know if I can watch, like I'll watch it, but I'm going to probably be throwing up in my mouth a little bit because it makes me feel uneasy, even though the graphics aren't like your typical like Resident Evil high graphics. It's like cutesy, like they said on their website it's like Pixar animation, and it is. It's like you see this cutesy Pixar animation. The dude that's your neighbor has a fucking handlebar mustache, and he looks cute, but he looks like he gonna fuck you up on top of being cute. So I don't know. Hello Neighbor is looking good. It's just making me uneasy thinking about it. There's something else I wanted to touch on. Yesterday on Twitter, some company, like, real fucking randomly started following me on Twitter. And my Twitter is a hot mess. If you've ever been on my Twitter, there is a link above. I do have a link to my Twitter. My Twitter covers everything from video games to Lolita to just randomness. My damn Twitter page has no rhyme or reason to it, and I kind of like it that way. So, this company, hold up, what was it called? Started randomly following me, and I was like, okay. It was unsolicited, and I was just like, alright, I'll play ball. But It says Jack, brackets, Rest in Jelly, Little Miracles G, the main character in Rest in Jelly, the upcoming game by Little Miracles, and I'm stealing this account. We've been greenlit. So, from Barcelona, Spain. That's who started following me. I know it's all glary and stuff, but I was like, what? What is this? So I followed them back, and like I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I'm like, what is Rust and Jelly? And like, it doesn't give me. Hold up. I haven't really gone through this like page. This is the first time I've seen this page. I should have gone through it before I did this. But Rest. I don't even know what Rest and Jelly is. It says features of Rest and Jelly. Game design at its purest form. An entire game that can be controlled with just one button? Huh. Lots of challenges and dangers. Campaign mode with 4 different worlds with 50 plus or plus 50 levels to beat. Stop the Jelly Rebellion. A funny and engaging plot around the Jelly Rebellion that will lead you to unlock 10 hidden characters. Okay. Wit and ability. Each level will test you. You will need to understand what it takes to beat the level. Then you will need to be enough skilled to do it. Oh God, I'm gonna get fucked up on some nonsense. Multiple modes for 1 and 2 player. Rest and Jelly includes 3 solo modes and 3 local multiplayer modes, so you can beat those nasty jellies alone or with a friend. And it's scrolling, giving me like, it looks real fun and cute. See, this the kind of game. No, I'll go into it with the best of intentions, but I'm gonna get fucked up on something horrifying and then be screaming. So I'll give it a spin and see what it's talking when it comes out. I was just kind of taken aback that they just like literally out of nowhere was like, oh, we'll follow this crazy bitch. So thank you for following this crazy bitch because I don't know what I'm doing. So thank you. There was something. Oh, there is another horror game that the guy I like played a while back, and I keep meaning to email him and let him know that Song of Horror. Like when he played it, he said the Kickstarter didn't make enough money to be able to proceed to production, but they are coming out with Song of Horror on PS4 and PC next summer. So something must have broke open for them that they could continue Song of Horror. I watched that Let's Play. I'll post a link to all this stuff in the description. And that was pretty good. That was actually, it wasn't making me super uneasy, but that was a really good game. It had me jump a couple times. So, because I realized horror games are getting a little bit challenging for me to be like nervous. I know I scream a lot. Like when my husband played the Outlast demo, I was screaming. We were both screaming at a point. And then I know when we played the Resident Evil demo, I was screaming. But I don't know. Speaking of Resident Evil, I kind of already lost my passion for Resident Evil 7. I don't know what the shit happened. It was just one day, because I'm part of your ambassador program, I'll post stuff on my Facebook publicly, but I'm not like in the summer I was gung-ho, and then I was not gung-ho, and then I was gung-ho when the demo came out. Now I'm a little less gung-ho, and I don't know. I don't know if it's because I don't know what the deal is. I will continue to focus on Resident Evil, but I don't know, y'all. It's going to be good, but I'm still getting this feeling, this gnawing feeling at the back of my neck. Like, it's just going to be good, but it's just going to be like, oh, okay. And I'm just a little worried about it. So maybe that's why my brain is kind of like, you want to take it down a notch, because you're going to be disappointed. If you're expected to be up here, kind of drop them to like right about here level. So I don't know. I still look at their stuff, but really what I should have did, what somebody should have did, the first when they revealed their shotgun mini trailer or whatever the fuck it was, they should have put, I got a shotgun in it. I need to do that. I need to just do that and make that a private video so I can laugh at it. And if you don't know what I got a shotgun is, type in Resident Evil 1 and I got a shotgun. And you'll figure out what I got a shotgun is. And it's going to be like, what the fuck? So, I don't know. Weirdness, but whatever. And lastly, I said I was going to talk about the evil within. And goddamn it, I'm going to talk about the evil within. That back there. The keeper. That thing. So, 2 years ago, I can't believe it's been 2 years. God damn. The fuck? 2 years ago, The Evil Within came out. And it got a lot of critical acclaim. And a lot of the fans fucking bashed the shit out of it. And that really pisses me off. As I said before, there was a reviewer that I used to love watching his reviews. He hated it, and I haven't watched any of his reviews in 2 years. It was just like, you didn't like it? Fuck you, bye. So, and I know everybody is entitled to their opinion. I got that. But I think a lot of the problem was a lot of people were expecting it. The primary complaint I hear about The Evil Within was it was too much like Resident Evil 4, and that's why they didn't like it. And then the other complaints I hear was the graphics were a train wreck. They said from the very beginning the graphics were not going to be super high, ultra high end because it was supposed to mimic kind of how the gritty feel of how traditional survival horror games were prior to everything having all these shiny, happy ass graphics. Alright. So I still don't understand the complaint as to why everybody gets pissy about it's too much like Resident Evil 4. Because my comeback to that is, did you want it to be like fucking Resident Evil 6? Because even though it was Shinji had nothing to do with Resident Evil 6, that was a fucking option, but it wasn't. So I don't get why that's a complaint. I can understand, like, my kind of beef with The Evil Within was really the whole part in chapter 9 when you're going through what happened to Ruvik and how he got all fucked up. You should have gone through what happened to Sebastian and how Sebastian got all fucked up. Cause that would have really fucked me up. I'd have been like, oh shit, oh my god. Cause I get so fucked up on the beginning of The Last of Us that it takes me that whole opening credits to get my shit together to be able to watch like the next part until the next tragedy occurs and I'm crying like a little girl. That would have been so much more heart-wrenching. If you haven't played The Evil Within, it's coming out for free next month on PlayStation Network. Please get it and play it. But Sebastian's daughter dies in a fire. And that was really made his marriage deteriorate really quickly. And if they had shown you his daughter, like, not dying, but like they had shown you how he felt and being unable to save her, that would have been, like, mind blasted. We would have all been fucked up on that. But they didn't do that. And I think they really kind of did a disservice to the plot. Because it kind of made it seem like they tacked on this arbitrary-ass tragedy on the Sebastian. Because it does kind of literally come out of nowhere. And then it doesn't come in a cutscene form. It comes in the form of a journal entry. And it just did not seem fair. Because Sebastian, you could kind of, like, you lose a kid, that's fucked up. Like, who goes through some shit? Like, I'm sure a lot of people go through shit, but there's some shit they have to go through. So, they really should have, like, focused more on that, because Ruvik is the enemy. You're not really supposed to kind of feel bad for Ruvik, especially. The other complaint is a lot of people's like, the plot doesn't make sense. The plot's not supposed to make sense, especially in Sebastian's campaign, because you have about 25% of the story. You don't have the full picture of what's going on. You don't know that you're a victim of circumstance. You don't know that you're trapped in the stem until a little bit later. You don't know what the fuck is happening around you, but you keep getting moved around here, there, and everywhere. So you have probably, I would say, a good 25% of understanding of what the fuck is happening to you, but you don't have the full scope. Honestly, what I think they should have did was they should have came out with the DLCs first, and that would have made a lot more sense, and that would have probably got a little like people on board first, and then came out with Sebastian's game, and then came out with the Executioner as the last huzzah. But they did it all weird, and then by the time Julie Kidman's DLCs came around, people were pissed off at the game and didn't want to give it a chance. And I think it's a game. Honestly, it's a game that really needs closure because there's too much left out there. In 2 years, I'm on a ton of Evil Within sites. I do the fucking weekly Crimson Post articles because I love this game so much. And there's just a devoted group of fans that would like to see. I think they would like to see this thing get closed out. I think we would be happy if, like, we could figure out what the fuck happened after everything that happened. Because there's no closure. And Bethesda is steadily playing with our balls, even if you're a girl, which is internal, which is painful, playing with everybody's balls and not giving them the closure that they need. So, I don't know. I would really like to see the Evil Within come around. The only information that I know of, that I have that's credible information, is me hysterically checking the Tango Gameworks website. And the only information I have is that they are looking for animators. They are looking for VG video game, like cutscene artists. They're looking for screenwriters. They're looking for a myriad of things. I will post a link to that too. If you think you can handle living in Japan, you want to work with one of the masters of video game design, you want to, like, live the life that I would love to live, but I'm too busy stalking Shinji Mikami to be able to work, let alone work with the man, then go work for Tango Studios. Shit, I wish I could get some shit together and work for them. But alas, so I'll post a link to that in the description. And they moved offices, so I don't know. They're not where they were in Tokyo. I know where they were too, but that's a story for a different day. But they moved to a new office. So they're looking for people, and I think there's something possibly in the works when they get all the people that they're looking for. But right now, we're just all left in limbo, and it fucking sucks. 2 years on, and there's just no information. So I would love to put this, even if you, say that you can't do another game. Put the shit in an anime, please! Put it in something! A fucking radio show, like one of the radio shows they used to have back in the 90s. I'll take it on a fucking radio show. Just close it so I know what the fuck happened. Because I can't take it no more. And I watched the whole game, like, in 3 days. Like, no, in 4 days last week. So, I need some closure. Or fucking Bethesda's going to have to pay for me to get some damn counseling. Because I can't take it no more. But it's going to be free next month. I've watched so many Let's Plays, like live streams of it. And most of the people that I've never heard anybody when they were done with a live stream say it sucks. It's only like on YouTube that I hear people say it sucks. But in the live stream, everybody's like, oh, this was a good game. Like, it wasn't like fevered pitch like me. But most people were like, oh, yeah, this was a good game. It wasn't. And one of the best quotes I ever heard was somebody's like, it wasn't scary, but it was trippy. And that's when I was like, yup, that sums up the Evil Within. It's real trippy. So if you're looking for something trippy and like, you like, what? Play that. So that's the fuck all I got. I gotta get the shit out of here. And this went way longer than I anticipated. So I'm sorry about that. Later.